An entire season's worth of work comes down to this tonight. Nervous final moments in the tunnel for the Colorado players. And Seattle Sounders, 4th against 5th in the West. It's the MLS 2013 Playoffs knockout round tonight here at CenturyLink Field. 11 shows just one change from that draw with LA Galaxy from Sunday.
Yeah, Leo Gonzalez comes back into that left back spot for Mark Birch, and it's once again we're seeing that diamond formation in midfield, and let's see how that evolves from that first showing on Sunday against LA.
Look at Colorado. Until today they kept the same back five for 9 games in a row. It's all changed though.
Yeah, they have. Marwell Wynn finds himself on the bench. Shane O'Neill goes from the center back position out to that right back. Mara comes in. Maybe they're looking for size, a little bit of strength to match up.
Start kickoff is brought to you by Subway, the official training restaurant of the Sounders FC. It's win or bust. It's do or die. The Western Conference knockout round in the 2013 MLS Cup Playoffs is underway. Who will deliver that telling punch?
Wasn't the best of crosses, and for a little bit it looked like Jimmy Traore was going to go and head the ball and realize all he was going to be able to do is kind of backflip the ball into a dangerous position. Thought it was better to leave it.
And now Nagel from a defensive mistake. And it's Clint Irwin pouring it away. Well, that's twice in a minute at either end that the goalkeepers have been called on.
And that's always a danger when you change up your back four, kind of those communication issues. Mira thinking that the skip off the turf was going to take it further. Irwin a little bit out of position. Lamar Nagel just unable to...
You think of Jimmy Traore, you think of the 2005 European Champions League final, when his Liverpool side probably came back from 3 goals down to AC Milan to win, as Martin Rivero looking for the spectacular.
Yeah, that's what's going to be interesting for Colorado, is how many players are they going to push into the box. Rivero had the through ball, but he had no options coming in to support, so he decides he's just going to have a lash from a difficult angle.
Those guys adding some experience down the stretch to complement what has been a very successful youth-looking side. Johnson lets it run for Dempsey. They'll have a go here. Clint Irwin, 5 yards off his line. If that had been a little vicious on the dip, Clint Dempsey may well be raising his arms right now.
That's that space that we were looking for Clint Dempsey to find, just in front of the back four. He gets a little bit of space from the flick from Eddie Johnson. Let's fly from 30. Needs it to dip a little bit forward.
Now Dempsey finding Eddie Johnson. Gonzalez on the overlap. 3 in the box for Seattle. It's a really good ball. Mira away. Chance for Evans! The Emerald City is alight! And it's all rise for Brad Evans!
There's been a couple occasions where when the Sounders are able to get the ball wide and combine, look, nobody comes out with Clint Dempsey. He finds a space. Nobody goes out wide with Eddie Johnson. And now as the overlap comes, look at the way that Colorado drops back in the middle and just leaves gaps. The ball falls kindly to Brad Evans. He has all the time and space in the world to chest trap it down, drive it across the goal, and find that far post side netting.
Superb finish.
There was times when Clint was playing that he was doing a little bit too much, just trying to get that first goal. And you can see in tonight's match how quick he is to pass the ball, to get players involved. And it's almost as if that weight has been lifted, and now he feels that freedom to play the way that we all know Clint Dempsey is capable of playing.
Nagel for Dempsey. Lovely return pass. Nagel with a great opportunity. And I think he thinks it should have been 2-0. Again, magnificent build-up by Seattle.
Well, that's exactly that weighted touch. The ability of Clint Dempsey. A ball fired into him. Perfect weighted layoff to Lamar Nagel.
From Nagel does enough to put off his man, and now Alonso sending Dempsey through. Oh, it's right out of his box. And he's in real trouble now. Dempsey down on his hurt shoulder. And it's just a yellow card for Clint Irwin.
When I was watching Clint Irwin leading up to this match, I found that as a young goalkeeper, so often you get yourself into bad positions. Irwin very fortunate to only see the yellow card on the obstruction. If that touch, you can see Drew Moore in a covering position, which might be the reason why he wasn't the last defender. But Irwin getting it all wrong, bringing down Dempsey outside the box, and very fortunate that his defender was quick to recover and
get to the referee for that. Danger still on here. It's Mark Birch. It's off the bar. Don't know whether Irwin got near that. And it's going to be a goal kick. Mark Birch so close to scoring his first goal in over 2 years.
Yeah, Irwin a little bit late. Good ball over the bar. Irwin looked like he had it. Then a little bit of a stutter step. Gets his timing wrong.
In towards Eddie Johnson. Nagel takes a battle. Drew Moore. There's a shot for a handball. Silvio Petrescu in a very good position to say no. And then a free kick for Colorado. And the no call drawing the ire of the Sounders fans. And now on the hour mark, Oscar Pareja shows his hand. It's going to be Vicente Sanchez coming on for Martin Rivero. Was there a handball in here?
Good service. You see the challenge from Eddie Johnson. And there's the strike against the hand of Mera. It definitely caught his arm as it was extended. It was goal bound.
And more as well.
And more. It kind of bounced off Mera's arm, then hits more.
Again, set piece is always a very good threat for Colorado, particularly with Vicente Sanchez over them. Sperning is called into action. He's dropped it again and finally whacked away by John Kennedy Hurtado. Well, the greasy surface not helping Michael Sperning, and Hurtado helping out his goalkeeper.
Yeah, a little bit surprised on this time that Sperning just doesn't decide to punch the ball. Comes through the crowd, has to make a rash challenge.
Chase on for Edson Buddle and Jimmy Traore. Sperning, has he caught it outside of his area? He has. And then as he struck out at Edson Buddle, well, Michael Sperning had time to go back in his area. He's been sent off. Seattle are down to 10 men. The handball from Michael Sperning and then the reaction. And this will be an incredibly nervous final 5 minutes.
Well, the rule reads, if you catch the ball inside the box and carry it outside, it's a yellow card. If you intentional handball outside of the 18, it's a red card. You can see Sperning was clearly 2 yards outside of his 18. He misread the judge. I think originally he thought he needed to come out and head the ball, as we saw Clint Irwin do on a couple occasions today. The Sounders have to keep their composure in these final few minutes.
We'll go back to that in a moment. First, Vicente Sanchez with the corner. It's Hendry Thomas with the header. Huge moment for Colorado Rapids. Colorado Rapids season hangs on the next 2.5 minutes. How much more has Seattle got in them? Eddie Johnson, brilliant skill, even better finish! That is the goal that sends the Sounders through to their 5th straight Western Conference semi-finals. Against the odds late on, it's their leading striker that has made it count.
Well, you thought originally that maybe Clint Dempsey was going to do it, but the 10-men Seattle Sounders taking advantage of the Colorado Rapids having to push forward. For a second I thought Eddie Johnson go to the corner flag, but he had the opportunity when he cut inside on Mera, and then able to beat the on-rushing Irwin.
Eddie Johnson with the capping goal, and it's Seattle Sounders that move on to their 5th straight Western Conference semi-finals. A performance full of heart, first half artistry and clinical finishing. Brad Evans with the first, before the 10 men with Michael Sperling sent off managed to do it in the end.